Hello and welcome to Sports 24/7 again. This is Abhishek Bhide and joining us today is Pranav Ranade, who's here today to discuss tennis and more specifically Wimbledon. Now, Wimbledon is a tournament which has a lot of romance surrounding it. It started in 1877 and since then has been played almost uninterrupted, except the interruption which happened during World War II. And last year, the tournament had to be unfortunately cancelled due to the COVID pandemic. So, Pranav, for me, there are lots of tennis tournaments in the world, but the biggest and the most important is Wimbledon, and even it is widely considered to be the most prestigious. My earliest memories watching Wimbledon in the 90s, watching Pete Sampras play the finals, almost every year, and Steffi Graf used to be there in the early 90s, and then Martina Hingis winning in 1997. So, what are your earliest Wimbledon memories, and which is your one single most favorite lasting memory of Wimbledon?
Yes, Abhishek. So my earliest Wimbledon memory goes back to 2004, the final between Federer and Roddick. I did not know anything about lawn tennis at all before that. I was only 8 to 9 years old, and I was just surfing the television when I saw on Star Sports that on grass surface, certain match is being played. I didn't even know what's the name of the sport. I asked my mom, who is a very much tennis fan from the beginning. She said, "No, I will not explain you anything. You have to understand everything by yourself, and you will find this game very much interesting."
Right.
So I watched that game, but you will be surprised, Abhishek, that I wasn't supporting Federer in 2004 as well as in 2005 final. I was supporting Roddick. I was fascinated about his two, three aspects. His very strong serve, then his style to a particular style to wear his cap, and just a different style to just take up his sleeves of both arms. So I was just fascinated by his stylish play. But yes, I saw that Federer easily won those two matches, and after that I came to know that yes, this is a Wimbledon tournament which is played every year in June, July. So these are my most earlier memories, and the lasting memory I would say is of Wimbledon 2012. In 2012, we all believed that Djokovic is going to win, because he was winning every match like a cakewalk, and
Right.
somehow Federer was also not in top of his form for 2.5 years.
Right.
But in English, they say turn back the clock moment. So that moment happened for Federer in 2012, where he defeated Andy Murray as well as Djokovic. So that's my most unforgettable memory, I would say.
Fantastic. Well, as you mentioned, that 2012 final, it was really an unbelievable match because after the rain delay, until the rain delay, Federer was, trailing by a set, and he was a breakdown in the second set as well. But
Yes.
after the rain delay, he just turned it around, and what a great win that was. As you mentioned, how you learned the game watching on TV yourself. My grandmother was a little bit kinder to me, so she actually explained the rules to me, and it made it easier for me. Of course, certain things then I also started figuring it out and understanding on my own. But my most lasting memory, Pranav, is I'd like to share with all the viewers as well, is in the year 2000, Pete Sampras, his parents actually came to Wimbledon and to watch him play for the first time. And after winning, he went into the crowd and hugged his father and met his parents. So that was the most like touching and greatest memory for me. And growing up in the 90s, Pete Sampras was definitely my favorite player at that time. And then, as you know, that we are supporting, you and me, both of us, we are supporting, and we are a big fan of Roger Federer, like the rest of the world. So coming now on to the Wimbledon Championship, which is starting tomorrow. This is going to be more exciting because it didn't happen last year, so there has been a gap of 2 years now. And in 2019, I know you don't want to think about that, but the final gentlemen's singles final was a memorable one, even though Federer lost. But it was a great final for all the tennis fans. And this year, I was just checking the draws, and in the women's doubles and gentlemen's doubles, there are a few known players, but because not much tennis has happened on grass, it is very difficult to gauge like who's in good form, because players haven't been playing much of late. And the same goes for women's singles. Women's singles has been an event in every grand slam. We see that there are new champions, and there haven't been like 3 4 extremely consistent players. And in 2019, Simona Halep, she won the tournament, but she's unfortunately not part of the tournament this year. So, what do you think? Like, are there a couple of players to look at in women's singles?
Yes, in women's singles, I think we have to look at Petra Quito. I think she is number 10 seed for this tournament,
Right,
but she is very well experienced campaigner, and she has won Wimbledon twice. So she is the one who we can look for. And other is the teenage sensation with CoCo Gauff,
right.
the US tennis player. She had surprised the entire tennis world with her
Sorry,
skill.
Pranav. I think she's from Canada, CoCo Gauff.
Oh, I see. So sorry.
Yeah,
So she had surprised everyone with her skills at a very young age. So I
absolutely.
think these two players are to be looked for. But I believe the women tennis players have quality, but the one factor which they lack is consistency. So every time in every other Grand Slam, we see a new winner.
Right,
So it's even difficult for tennis pundits and tennis analysts like Baker and McEnroe as to who is going to win the tournament or who is going to be the finalists.
right.
So I believe these two are the one who we can look for. But as far as women's tennis is concerned, all the 128 players stand a equal chance, if you ask me.
Right. And as you mentioned a couple of names, I think Garbinia Muguruza, she's also won
Yes.
Wimbledon previously, and I think her game, slightly suits Wimbledon. She's got power and a big
Yeah.
serve, so these are a couple of things which are important in Wimbledon. Interestingly, you mentioned Boris Becker, and he was a teenage sensation himself. And talking about the gentlemen singles, there hasn't been really someone like Boris Becker coming in from the qualifying rounds and winning, going on to win. Actually, since 2003, only Federer, Nadal, Murray, and Djokovic. Only these four guys have been winning Wimbledon for the past 18 years. So, talking about the men's gentlemen singles, how do you see the draw and outside chance for Federer? Should we hope or should we not hope?
Absolutely, we should hope. Firstly, if you consider gentlemen singles for last 17 years, it has been a two-way traffic. 8 times the trophy has been won by Federer, and 5 times it has been won by Djokovic,
Right,
with Andy Murray and Nadal, of course, having their two trophy share.
right,
So, as you said, we are waiting for teenage Boris Becker to win the Wimbledon trophy, but we don't see that coming because the top players are very much consistent. And if you ask about Federer's chance, we just received the draw yesterday, uh, and to everybody's surprise, Federer has a pretty easy draw, I would say. Yes, he is. If he advances, he is going to meet Medvedev in quarterfinals and Zverev in semifinals, possibly. But if he is fit and if his knee is going well, then I think Federer should easily defeat these two young players. And I am hoping that his knee is good and he is in perfect condition. Yes, he does not have much of the match practice, but he definitely has an outward chance. But yes, in all hindsight, Novak Djokovic is the one who is the most favorite to win this trophy and to level things with Federer and Nadal in terms of Grand Slams.
Well, Pranav, along with you, millions of Roger Federer fans are also hoping that his knee holds. And game-wise, I think at Wimbledon, he always brings his best. Doesn't matter how old he is. Even after 10 years, he could be competing at or being competitive at Wimbledon. But apart from that, Novak Djokovic, in all honesty, the favorite. Maybe Tsitsipas could be a challenger and outside chance for Federer. I think we can safely say that because the kind of form Novak is in, the way he played at the French Open as well, and overall he's just a machine.
Absolutely, he is a machine and he is a beast. So Novak, it's almost 90%. It's quite crystal clear that he is only going to win the championships. But yes, the second most favorite player, according to me, is Tsitsipas. But unfortunately or fortunately, they are going to meet in semi-finals. The two best players or the two most likely players to win, they are going
Right.
to meet in semi-finals as per the draws. So again, I would somehow come back to Federer. So it's just a blessing in disguise for Federer to have to find himself in second half of the draw.
Right, absolutely. And Pranav, apart from Wimbledon, like obviously at Wimbledon we love the tennis, but Wimbledon also has its own romance, like the green grass, the white clothing is compulsory, and then
Yeah,
the royal box having celebrities like even Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli has been there, David Beckham. This is these small traditions, even the uh, fresh strawberries with cream, that is a famous dish which is served at Wimbledon. So there is a charm around Wimbledon which is unlike other tournaments. There is something different about Wimbledon. So we love Wimbledon because of that as well. And do you have any particular tradition which you like or enjoy?
absolutely. So Abhishek, according to me, Wimbledon is the greatest tennis tournament of all time. With respect to all three, with due respect to all three Grand Slams, as well as the Masters events. It has a history of more than 125 years.
Right.
And I would say Wimbledon levels everybody. Apart from win and defeat, there is everything same. They have white jerseys. They have to compulsorily wear white jerseys, white shoes. The
Right.
ball boys and the referees also have a particular type of
Yes.
uh,
Greenish color.
yes, greenish
Yes.
jersey, and every inch of grass, every blade of grass also is of the same length and same height.
Right.
And as far as royal box is concerned, yes, that's a very distinct tradition of Wimbledon, which is observed for last at least 5 decades. And
Yes.
yes, as you mentioned, Virat and Sachin Tendulkar. So for me, these traditions, especially the royal box, the tons of strawberries and creams being
Yes.
consumed,
Yes. Absolutely.
and the white jersey. I very much like players playing in white jersey instead of colorful jersey. So the white jersey and white shoes is the best tradition or the rule of Wimbledon, I would say.
You mentioned the grass. Djokovic started a tradition wherein he actually plucks out a couple of blades of grass and he eats it, and that is a very interesting and a little bit strange. But he has that tradition. After winning, he has done that.
Yes,
Even 2019 he did that. So we're very excited. Hoping for a great tournament. We'd really like to see some good tennis, and obviously, fingers crossed for Roger Federer. Also, quickly before finishing ending this chat, I'd just like to share a couple of anecdotes about tennis and about Wimbledon. So, tennis is a sport, actually, it started in France and it was known as tennis. So, tennis means watch, hold, or wait. And so, the server used to say that to his opponent, tennis. And so, then that word from tennis it became tennis, and today it is known as tennis. Secondly, Pranav, we say 15 love, 30 love. That's how the score is counted. So the reason is that louf means egg in French, and so egg looks like a zero. So they used to say like 15 egg, so 15 loaf, 30 loaf. That's how loaf became love, and today these traditions have been going on for centuries now. So just a couple of interesting facts I'd like to share. I wanted to share with our viewers. So
Abhishek,
thank you.
yeah,
Yes.
Abhishek, just in the end, I would like to add one thing. I have written a note in my notebook 2 days back that poetic justice was done as far as New Zealand was concerned. Uh, and exactly on the same date of World Cup finals, Wimbledon final had took place, and it was the most
Yes.
cruel way in which Federer had lost that final. So
Right.
exactly 2 years later, New Zealand have won in England. So exactly 2 years later, I am hoping that uh, destiny is going to help Federer to win the championship title number 9.
Well, Pranav, I remember because those two games were happening simultaneously in 2019, and Federer was serving for the match. And anyways, those are really painful memories. So I don't want to go deeper into that, but I hope your words come true. Your prediction for the India match was also right. And if what will you do, Pranav? I think we should have a party if Federer wins Wimbledon this year.
Absolutely. See, Abhishek, 2 days back I told you that if Federer versus Djokovic Wimbledon final happens once again, I'm not going to watch a single point at all. But if Federer wins, then yes, we have to party hard.
We have to dance in the streets if Federer
Absolutely,
wins.
absolutely.
So well, that's a promise. Thank you all for watching and supporting our channel. Please do like, subscribe to our videos if you enjoy them and like them. And thanks Pranav for joining us today. And we'll definitely be coming up with more videos in the near future. Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.